Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the video, and there's another paid request, this time for Rob Cohen. Yes, for the director, to review his damn movie. Yo, I'd rather leave that in, just the dumbest shit. Yeah, Rob Cohen, he contacted me, he said, hey, please review my movie, The Skulls. This is for Durst Momsen for Life. I don't even know why is that funny. Just show how fucking stupid I am. Durst Momsen for Life requested me to review this film directed by Rob Cohen, named The Skulls. And for those interested, requested any type of videos with my stupid ass self making stupid decisions. You can request pretty much any type of video. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. That's usually the best bet. Do have a Patreon and CashApp for those interested. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I can. But yes, thank you, Durst Momsen for Life. Very nice guy. Very generous guy. Thank you, man. The Skulls from 2000. Now, it's directed by Rob Cohen, who did Dragging the Bruce Lee Story, which I don't mind. Daylight, which I do find very underrated. I do like Daylight with Stallone. The first Fast and Furious. The last couple films he did, The Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragging Emperor, and The Hurricane Heist, I didn't think were that good. They didn't do that well. But there's enough of his on that. Triple X, the first one, I did like. He directed that. Now, this one is a bit off the beat for him because it's more of a conspiracy, well, I don't know, like thriller, like that type of thing, teen thriller. So it's a bit different for what he's used to doing. Stars Joshua Jackson, who was in the first Urban Legend movie, Dawson's Creek, Cruel Intentions. I think he was The Mighty Ducks back in the day. He stars as a kid or a teen, who has a good girlfriend. His best buddy is a guy named Will. He's on the rowing team. And he's trying to pay for college tuition and wondering how the hell to do that. Working, job, serving food for people, getting food for people. Then one day he gets a phone call. He goes through this kind of go to the payphone at this time, go to this time. And we find out that he may be included in this fraternity, but this is more of like a secret society called the Skulls. Which, you have so much stuff and so much good things happen for you. And Paul Walker is there as another new recruit. He's the son of one of the head guys there, played by Craig T. Nelson. Another guy who used to be part of the Skulls, who's a senator at this point. William Peterson. So there's a good cast in here. I don't mind Joshua Jackson. Paul Walker, may he rest in peace. I was liking him more and more because he was in films like Hours, which is a very underrated film, and Brick Mansions I enjoyed for what it was. So I was really curious to see what he would do next, and sadly he passed away in, again, pretty sad fashion. What was that one film he did? Running Scared, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, Paul Walker, he wants to make his dad proud, but you tell it was a bit of like fear for his dad. Or fear of his dad, I should say. And William Peterson from Manhunter and CSI. Like I said, Craig T. Nelson I loved, I did remember watching a few episodes of Coach back in the day, but that was decades ago. And of course, Poltergeist, Action Jackson, who was the villain in that. So some cool, see all these recognizable people in this. It's definitely a movie of its time, especially with the music being used, whether it be early in the film with the music rocking when he sees three of his buddies from back then who like to steal cars, and You tell they kind of went their separate ways, where they're still stealing cars and doing rebellious stuff while he's trying to be on this more straight and narrow path. In order to hopefully be more into the skulls, they have to complete this task where they got to steal this weather vane, and Paul Walker and Joshua Jackson work together to steal it. After they have to climb up, oh my god, we're gonna fall. We fall in this pond. We survived. We got what we needed. I was talking about the music. There's a bit where now things seem to be more prevalent. He's been invited to these parties, and a bunch of women come in, and what starts playing is Creed, Higher. Can you take me higher? But that makes me smile, because I grew up in this era of movies, so they may be looked at as dated or cringy, but I like Halloween H2O. I like this era. I grew up with it. Call it nostalgia. But I mean, 2000. I might have seen this once, but I didn't remember much about it. But yeah, I would have been what, 17 when this film came out. Yeah, because I was still in high school when this came out. So, like I said, this stuff I'll take over the shit we have today. I really would. Again, call it nostalgia, call whatever you want. Not saying I love every film in this era, because I certainly don't, but this has a bit of that, call it silly charm. If charm's not the right word, but just something about it that... I actually didn't mind this film. I thought it was okay. I actually thought this film was an okay movie. I didn't mind it. I thought it was decent movie. Now, granted, there's certain things of the characters where almost instantly his buddy Will is just a complete dick to him. Where it's like, oh, you joined the Skulls, huh? And Joshua Jackson's like, yeah, what's the big deal? Yeah, and when you come into a room and you're wondering which table to sit, and they're there and I'm here, you don't sit by me? And before he can answer, he's just being a complete dick. I'm like, are you his buddy or is his foot buddy? Are you dating him? Or is he your wife? Husband? What the hell, dude? You act like the guy cheated on you. Now you find out later that this guy had all this info. They was looking into the skulls, and why didn't you tell him that? All this crap you could have told him instead of acting like a complete dick. And that's the thing is, we haven't had a whole lot of time between Josh and this Will guy, other than a scene where they're rowing in a competition and they win. That's about as far as we get, and then they're hanging out in their apartment, and that's when Josh gets the phone call, goes up, blah, 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 blah. The whole thing with the weather vane, blah, blah, blah. Comes back, and then this guy's giving the third degree. I'm like, I don't know who the hell this Will guy is, but you're acting like a dickhead. Do you want him to fuck you in the ass? Like, calm down, dude. What are you doing? Shut up. And that's one problem I had with the film. It's like, okay, this guy knows something we don't, but then because he just seems like a dick. And by this point, even the girlfriend is like, you joined the Skulls, huh? At this point, we don't know anything about the Skulls. And even, what's the public persona? Like, they're dicks, I guess? But you would think Joshua Jackson would have heard anything about this. He knows as little as we, the audience. So it's like, it just makes the girlfriend and the buddy seem like just dicks. Like, this guy wants to join a group, and you haven't told him, neither of you, and you haven't told us, the audience, why we're supposed to hate the Skulls. So the first impression of these two, the girlfriend and the buddy, just seemed like, wow, you guys are just assholes. Just so confrontational, without any leeway, without letting Joshua Jackson explain or have a conversation, and Josh is like, hey, well, it's not that way, and hey, let's talk about it, and the other just being so over the top dickishness. So while that's going on, there are times where Joshua Jackson getting a bit more into the skulls and how the secret society works. Like they have this meeting in this place where I swear there's a skull nearby, but it looks like a skull they stole from the Phantom, that movie. Any man now, True Williams will be like, "This is wonderful," you know. It is like a what's it? It's a colored skull. It does look like one of the skulls from the Phantom. There's a little bit of interaction with Paul's dad, Craig Nelson. There's a little bit of interaction with the Senator, William Peterson, who seems to be looking out for Joshua Jackson's character. I would like to have seen a bit more between Joshua and Paul Walker. I mean, there's a bit where when they're taking the vein, he tries to save Paul Walker, and then that whole bonding bit. Then there's a bit where they have at this party with all these ladies coming by, which I thought a lot more was going to come up with the whole ladies. I'm like, okay, this girl's going to hit on him, and then the girlfriend's going to find out. Then she's going to think you're cheating on me, and he's like, no, I'm not. Maybe I'm glad they didn't go that route, but I'm just surprised because they have all these women. Although I got to hear Creed. Can't go wrong with Creed. Can't hate a film with Creed in it. I even like Stream 3, and that has Creed in it, so there you go. Tight AE, the marketing had Creed in it. So, End of Days, the soundtrack had Creed on it. Creed is cool. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I never hated Creed. I never understood the hate for Creed. I never understood that. I mean, what is so bad about Creed? If you're talking about the movie Creed, okay, and I don't like Creed 2 either, but the band Creed has always been cool to me, has always been cool in my book. So that was what I heard that I went, I smiled, I'm like, okay. But I said, I wish there was a bit more of development between Joshua and his buddy Will, to see kind of their bond, how friendly they are, what they do, they hang out with each other, and then see the contrast where the friend changes once he hears about the skulls. And you think he'd be like more subtle instead of just from 0 to 100. What the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? Are you on your menopause, dude? And yeah, I wish there was a bit more of Paul Walker and Joshua, like them bonding. And maybe there could be a thing where, okay, he's going to hang out with this guy, but he's going to hang out with Paul, and he's hanging out with Paul and having fun with them. And it's like, well, I could be friends with both, and once in a while hangs out with them, but yes, he's hanging out more with them because it's a new experience, and maybe a bit more of that would have been appreciative. The sell better, the turn, which is just the end of spoilers. So spoilers. The Will guy stole Paul Walker's tea, got into the secret room and is taking pictures, and Paul Walker comes, hey man. I can't even blame Paul Walker for being pissed. Like, at this point, I'm like, fuck this Will guy. You broke his car. You fucked up his car. You stole his tea. You stole his book. You're in where, at this point, I don't know if we've really seen that they've done anything illegal yet. And Paul Walker chased him because he wants his damn tea back, his book back. Then it cuts away. And then the next thing you know, Joshua Jackson comes home and sees his friend hunt himself. And some other more recognizable people, Steve Harris as the cop. He was one of the soldiers working for Ed Harris in The Rock. He's been in a few other films too, but that's what I remember him the most from. And then Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin himself. He's there. He works at the university, and he's working for Craig T. Nelson. Of course, again, 9 times out of 10, if you see Christopher McDonald, you know he's a villain. And yes, that's the case in this as well. I do not every time, but like I said, 9 times out of 10. Now, at times, the musical score could be overzealous, like trying to be very big, and there's like a little subtlety could have helped a bit. You just say that maybe for chunks of this film, that a bit more subtlety could have helped things a bit better. But that's when like they're getting, the guy's dead. The cops talk to him. They're getting stuff out of the guy's apartment, and Joshua finds out all this secret stuff Will had about the skulls. I'm like, why didn't you tell him about all this? And then now that he sees that the guy had Paul Walker's book, now his eyes are on Paul Walker. Then we see a flashback of Paul Walker. That again, he ran after him, and Will kind of ended his own stupid life because he falls, he crawls backwards, he's now looking where the fuck he's going, and then, oh, whoopsie daisy. And Paul Walker tries to help him, and then when the guy falls, he cries, oh no. Now, maybe at this point, we're supposed to wonder, okay, is he telling the truth in this flashback, or is he lying? But no, he was telling the truth. I do like that Paul Walker, they made it where he wasn't just a one-note villain, that he's not, that awful of a guy. It's just that he has his dad who just pressures him into stuff, and even later when they see footage, like Paul Walker's calling, we need to call 911, we need to get this guy help. What? And he does what his dad says, but, he wants to help. And by the end does the right thing. So I do like Paul Walker's character. Like, he's an interesting character that I would have liked to learn even a bit more about, especially at the end, to learn about what happened to the character after the events of the film. And there's a bit where Paul warns him, listen, you gotta stop doing what you're doing. You gotta stop looking into this. Okay? I never meant to hurt your friend, okay? But if you keep doing this, then who knows what they'll like, you can tell he's scared. He's scared for his new friend. It's like, hey, if you keep doing this, who knows what they're going to do to you. But ultimately, Joshua Jazz is going to look into what really happened. There's this tape that shows the footage of what really happened. So he learns where it's at, gets those hooligans from earlier who like to steal cars to help him out. Super spoilers, you find out that when Will Ferrell fell, he was still alive, but Christopher McDonald broke his neck, and Craig T. Nelson told him to do that. He tries to get the footage to the cops, but then Steve Harris is working for them. Then he's put into a mental hospital, and William Peterson and the girl get the guy out of the hospital. Then you do a bit of a car chase. So you do have some action in it. It's nothing remarkable in terms of it. But, like the car chase is pretty decent. It's on the railroad track. It's competently handled by Rob Cohen, who knows a thing or two on how to handle action. And I try to go on those twists of who's playing who and who's screwing over who. So, like, there's Christopher McDonald ready to kill Joshua Jackson, but then Steve Harris shoots him, and then Steve Harris says, I'm actually working for William Peterson. And William Peterson gives Joshua Jackson advice of, hey, remember to read that book of yours. He says it a different way. Joshua figures it out. Then the handbook, there's something about a duel. And he's trying to tell Paul Walker, hey, you know what happened, you know what's really going on. Josh won't shoot him. Paul Walker has a gun on him. Trey T. Nelson says, just shoot him, shoot him. Wounds Trey T. Nelson. I I thought Paul Walker did a good job where he's so frazzled by what his dad did and what's going on. And because his whole life he's been told to listen to his dad and browbeaten over it, and he did the right thing, but then he tries to end his life. And I do like that Joshua Jackson saves him. That's why I wish we could have had something afterward of, did Paul Walker go to jail? Is Paul Walker now out from under his dad's thumb? What's all going on with Paul Walker's character? Because I would like to have seen like one more moment where, even if it's just the two of them shaking hands or something. But that's not the case. The Skulls is one of those films where, like I said, based on the soundtrack and the types of editing, it's definitely a film of its time that some people may feel is dated. I know a lot of the reviewers call it silly and ridiculous and stupid. I don't know. I don't find it as silly as some make it out to be, considering as the years have come and go. What was that one weird group that the girl from Smallville was in? Like a cult? Check real quick. Allison Mack. NXIVM. NXIVM. Like, you look up stuff about that. Yeah, Allison Mack from Smallville. Like, you look up that stuff, and then Scientology, and like all this other stuff. I'm like, is this really that ridiculous? Is this really that silly? I mean, yes, again, it's not subtle. Sometimes it seems to play a little bit more loosey-goosey on twists and turns. Well, this guy's with this guy, but actually this guy's with this guy, and actually this guy was playing this guy all along. Because that's another thing, spoilers, is William Peterson was playing Joshua Jackson all along because he wanted Trey T. Nelson out of the way. So I helped you to do this. You sure you don't want to join? But then when he's like, you'll fuck that, and leaves, William Peterson's like, good job. Good man. Which I guess is, I don't even know what the hell his point of saying that was. I guess, oh good, I didn't want to marry her in the first place. Or, you know what, you're a strong guy. Maybe we'll use you later. I don't know. I know this guy likes sequels, but I don't think it has anything to do with the first film. I don't think so. I think it's just another secret society, and those, I'm sure, are much more low-budget direct-to-video, so at least this has a bit of a slick production, enough that you can see why this probably would have been in theaters. I would say overall, like I said, because I like the cast, because I like the 2000s era type of style, direction, I didn't find the film too boring. I was somewhat interested to see what would happen next. Like I said, I do wish that some of the characters were developed a bit more, fleshed out a bit more, to make the drama, I think, work a bit better, a bit stronger. The ending, I do wish we found out what happened to Paul Walker's character. Because the way Pearson talks about what happens to Trey T. Nelson's character, but not about the others. I mean, if it's still a secret society and the cops involved, do they just, I don't know. At the end of the day, I thought it was a decent film. Like I said, it was entertaining enough to keep me intrigued to see what would happen next. And I doubt this is a film I would watch over and over again, but it was still a decent watch. I was still somewhat entertained. I think the casting worked. Nice to see Paul Walker. May he rest in peace. I thought he did a pretty good job in the role. It's cool to see Tracy Nelson, William Peterson in there. And always nice to hear Creed, you know. That was definitely a plus. So, sometimes it's the little things. Like the girlfriend character, she was what she was. I mean, at least she did help out driving that car chase while Josh was barely out of it because he's from the hospital. They drugged him up. So at least she does something. At least she's not a useless character. Ooh, broke a nail, dead weight. The acting was so-so. It was alright from her, but like I said, I didn't feel a whole lot of development about her character. Like, there's this bit where the two of them are talking, and like it's trying to cut back, like in the bathroom, and they got like music playing because in case there's bugs around. And it's like the camera's going like, blah blah blah. No, I gotta keep you safe. No, blah 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 blah. I'm in love with you, huh? Like the way that's cut. I don't know, something about that seemed. I don't know if it's her acting, her delivery, or just how it's like trying to cut abruptly from blah 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 blah, and then they're like talking over each other. Like he's talking, then she starts talking while he starts talking. Blah blah blah. I don't know what is about that seemed like awkward to me. I can't put my finger on it. But I'm like, okay. Or I don't know, if it's just the timing or just her delivery. Maybe it's just me. Something about like, wow. And this is a couple of moments like that. That Rob Cohen is not them. He's made a couple decent films. He's not really the best as a drama, guy. But that's why I think he tends to work a bit better in terms of with action. But at the end of the day, they said didn't mind the film for what it is. So take that for what you will. So thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.